Hi everyone! You may have heard that videos are the most engaging type of content because people understand video information more easily and more often believe what they are told. About 90% of the information perceived by the brain is visual. Our hemispheres analyze it 60,000 times faster than text. Well, seeing something with your own eyes is always much more persuasive than reading about it. So today, we have some stories that would seem impossible if there weren't any video proof. The stories you're about to see are so insane, you might think that they're made up. Let's get it on. Fire in the hole is a code phrase that miners use to warn their fellow workers about an impending explosion in an enclosed space. In this video, it's a tunnel. You also must know that any explosion is accompanied by a shockwave that moves from the epicenter of the explosion to the high pressure zone. It'd be natural to think that it's completely invisible to the human eye, but actually, it is not. In fact, its movement can be traced without special devices. See it for yourself. In general, as a rule, shockwaves cause the greatest amount of damage to humans during explosions and various natural phenomena. For example, in 2013, when a meteor fell near the Russian city of Chelyabinsk, 1,500 people were affected. Most of them were injured by window fragments shattered by the shockwave. Later, the scientists found out that it was so powerful that it managed to circle the Earth twice. If you are a lucky cat owner, you probably know that these animals are capable of breaking into some hard-to-reach places. They can easily open a couple of drawers in the kitchen or the door to another room if your pet is particularly clever. As it turns out, this not only applies to agile and tiny domestic cats, but also to their bigger relatives. You've probably seen safari videos where lions or other felines jump onto the hood of a car. As a rule, it doesn't end badly. The animal realizes that there's nothing interesting there, and the passengers are left a bit shaken but unhurt. Thanks to this video, we now know that some predators actually know how to get into the Jeep. Look at this. A lion in the South African savannah approaches the car and easily opens the door with its teeth.
I know. You're supposed to lock the door. Is it locked? Yes. Are you sure? I hope so.
Of course, people should have locked the doors, but who would have thought that something like that could happen? If you live in a more or less big city, you've probably complained about traffic jams, even if they aren't that terrible. After watching this video, you'll definitely thank your fate for the fact that jams in your city don't look like this. Just the thought of waiting for hours without food, water, or the possibility to go to the bathroom is unbearable. This incredible several miles long traffic jam formed in California on the famous Interstate 405 just before Thanksgiving, one of the most important holidays in the United States. And no, it wasn't caused by a huge accident on the road. Simply, everyone in Los Angeles wanted to buy groceries and gifts. And it ended up like this, even though the highway has 12 lanes, 6 in each direction. What is this? A remake of the movie Ghost Rider? Some fake video where the biker was removed using video editors? Wrong. On the video, you can see the staff chasing the bike. In fact, the incident occurred during the famous 24-hour Bol d'Or race, which takes place annually in France. But how is that possible? It's not another example of unmanned technology, which has long been implemented by manufacturers around the world. The answer is much simpler. The driver probably fell off his bike, and the motorcycle continued to move on its own. And it'll probably keep going until something stops it, or until it runs out of energy. The humpback whale is one of the largest whales in the world. It can reach 18 meters in length and weigh up to 30 tons. Now imagine what would happen if a humpback whale jumps out of the water a couple of meters away from you. Sounds scary, doesn't it? We agree. But in this video, you can see how it looks in real life. A diver managed to film this random encounter with a humpback whale, and frankly, we don't envy them at all. Anyone who owns an iPhone will probably have a heart attack when watching this video. It shows American photographer Jack Drain in an open World War II aircraft. He decided to take a picture with his smartphone, and as you might have guessed, the strong wind immediately pulled the gadget out of his hands and into the unknown. The expression on Jack's face is so graphic that it doesn't even require any comments. Well, just look at the bright side. Now he can joke about having all of his photos in the cloud. Speed bumps on the road probably annoy all drivers. First of all, you might not notice one and it might make your car jump up. And secondly, they always get in your way when you're in a hurry. But as people say, everything in life is relative. Take a look at this video from China. It shows a car driving on an unusual 200-meter road with over 100 speed bumps. Of course, driving on this obstacle course takes a huge amount of time because you can't accelerate. Nobody knows whether this road was the idea of local authorities or the result of a mistake made by some careless builders. You can't play any instruments? Well, here's some motivation. Even horses can play them. In this video, a horse plays the famous alphabet song on the flute. You know, the one used to teach children the letters of the alphabet. But of course there's a catch. The horse is only responsible for blowing sounds through the nostril, while the person is in charge of the notes on the flute.
Bravo!
Instagram fever seems to have already reached the animal world. Take a look at this chimpanzee. He's scrolling through the publications in his social network on a smartphone and looks very interested. Besides, it seems that he does it consciously. He scrolls through the feed, moves between different posts and likes some of them. Yeah, it's hard to deny our kinship after seeing him act like this. Getting mad is also an art that many people can't master as perfectly as the actors of TV dramas. Often it just looks ridiculous, but check how American basketball player James Harden reacted to another player stopping his attack. The athlete threw the ball to the floor, and the ball bounced right back into his chin. We don't know what's funnier, James Harden trying to pretend it didn't hurt, or the reaction of the player of the opposing team.
Harden just lost the bat. And then put it into his own chin as he slammed.
You probably think a dog as cute as a pug wouldn't hurt a fly, and that's pretty close to the truth actually, except many pug owners have faced one problem. Their pets sometimes try to attack much bigger dogs. Perhaps pugs just don't understand sizes, and that's why they're all so eager to fight with sheepdogs. Here's an example. A policeman with a service dog was working on the streets of Phoenix when suddenly a local pug decided to show its fighting spirit. He started circling the van, trying to get closer to the police dog. He couldn't do it, of course, but we should give the dog some credit for his bravery. What do you think of sheep surfing? Here's a shepherd dog running right on the backs of a flock of sheep like it's something normal. You might think that the dog just decided to take a shortcut, but that's not exactly right. It is known that shepherd dogs sometimes control the herd in this way. Remember how in the famous animated movie Spirited Away, the train was moving on a flooded railroad? Somebody might have thought that it was fiction, but in fact it's quite possible, and this video is proof of that. A Russian train is driving on completely flooded rails like nothing ever happened. Perhaps almost every child in the world, girls and boys alike, dreams of having a remote-controlled car. After all, what could be cooler than controlling a toy remotely without touching it? But look, a Swedish media company has come up with something even better. They've managed to build a system that allows you to drive a car sitting right in the chair of a car simulator. You have to admit it's a great opportunity to see your home from a new perspective. If you're already getting tired of non-stop news about the coronavirus, here's a funny video. Yes, it is related to the same topic, but at least it'll make you smile. An unknown Australian enthusiast recently decided to leave an unusual message for the people of Sydney. He took a plane up to the city sky and wrote an important piece of advice: wash hands. Inhabitants of this small settlement decided to drain the basin of a local river. Usually this is done in wetlands to reduce the humidity of the upper soil layers. But in this case, after the drainage procedure, they encountered something incredible: a huge water monster lying on the bottom of the river. At first glance, it seems to be a frightening character from an animated film, but in fact, this fish is real. It's known as arapaima, and it can weigh as much as 200 kilograms. By the way, the indigenous people who live near the Amazon River basin in Brazil, Guyana, and Peru love its meat, and this particular fish could feed everyone in the video. Hey, stop being lazy, it's time to use that brain of yours. Welcome to Brain Time. Incredible facts from the past, the present, and even the future. The power of nature and wild animals, amazing facts and unsolved mysteries. You'll find all this and much more here. Subscribe now, you won't regret it.